podcast episode where we dive into the innovative world of mechanical engineering at NITW. In a groundbreaking move, the department has integrated design thinking into the curriculum, resulting in an inspiring journey of creativity and problem solving. Today, we have the privilege of speaking with the brilliant minds behind this initiative, Professor Dr. Karthik Subramaniam sir and Dr. Hari sir, with their dedicated team of faculty members and enthusiastic first-year B.Tech students. Through their collaborative efforts, they have filed an impressive number of design patents, with few already granted or under examination. Join us as we uncover the stories behind these remarkable achievements and celebrate the spirit of engineering. We feel so privileged that you're here, and we are also excited at the same time to dive into the brilliant ideology behind this. So,
Yeah, please.
can you tell us about the inspiration behind starting the design thinking course at our institute?
See what happened. NIT Varangal went into curriculum revision because, as an institute of national importance, what we do is every 4 years the institute curriculum goes through a complete review and revision. So, in that we look for adding courses which will make the students industry ready and also which will train them to keep them abreast with what the world is expecting them for. So, during that time, this idea was generated within the department that design thinking as a course should be introduced into the curriculum. This is nothing new. Design thinking, the idea of design thinking as a course has been existing internationally for several years. It's nothing new. So, we wanted to introduce it into the curriculum, but then we had a lot of discussion on how this should be introduced, because conventionally it is present in different forms internationally, in many countries and many institutions. But we wanted it to cater it and customize it for the requirements of our students. So that is where it started. So then, as that idea was initiated within the department, me and Professor Hari Kumar, we sat together and had a lot of brainstorming. We also got help from few other faculty members in the department, spent quite a bit of time. And then we came up with the idea of introducing design thinking. I would also like to mention that we took some inspiration from what IIT Delhi has done as, what do they call that as? They call it as Introduction to Engineering. They call the course as Introduction to Engineering. And that is introduced for all the first year students in IIT Delhi. But then that's not exactly what we have done here, but that was an inspiration. And Professor P.V.M. Rao, he is a pioneer for this kind of an idea, design thinking. So we had a lot of interaction with him, took inputs from him, and then designed the course for catering to our students. So that's how it all started. And then we introduced it right from 2021 batch of students. We felt that it should be there for first year, first semester students. That was also, we were trying to experiment it out. So that's where it started. Yeah.
Yeah. So we wanted to introduce this design thinking at the time of the revision in 2021. The inspiration was that if you look at the first year curriculum of the B.Tech, not only in NIT Varangal, across the country, it's a common curriculum for all the branches. It's more of fundamental courses related to science, math, these things. So not much of engineering is there.
Yes.
So we wanted to create certain interest very much in the first year of the B.Tech itself. So we took the ideas from IIT Delhi. There is a Stanford University course as well.
Yeah.
And based on that, we wanted to create a course which actually creates certain excitement, certain interest for the students, and quite unconventional in nature, which is different from other courses which will not have regular lectures, but then it will give an experiential learning. So our inspiration was to have something different which will create certain interest and help students in transforming them, and gives an overview of the entire engineering product building process. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to the next question. What are the main objectives and goals of this course?
See, before even we wrote down the syllabus for this course, we wanted to take an approach of what do we look forward to as outcome in the students, what are we expecting the students to gain from this. So we wrote down, first we wrote down 4 or 5 vision statements so that we are clear what we want to do with the students, what should be our path in directing this, where are we looking them in the future. So those objectives that we wrote down for ourselves were like, the first one we thought was we wanted to inculcate an enthusiasm in the students for engineering approach itself. See, engineering approach to solve problems is a very interesting approach. A very systematically engineers are trained to solve a problem. The way an engineer sees a problem is very different from how anybody else would see a problem. So that approach itself is quite interesting. So we want to create an enthusiasm in students for that approach. They find it very interesting to solve a problem, and through that approach, taking that approach. So that is the first objective we had. They should find it very fascinating. They should feel enthusiastic about it. The other objective we had was we wanted students to experience joy of learning. See, most of the time what happens is when students enter into an institution, they are bogged down by grades, exams, and then finally placements. Now, I'm not saying exams are not important or placements are not important. I would rather say that grades and placements come as a consequence of good learning process. If students are not fascinated about learning, if they are not joyful about what they learn, it defeats the whole purpose. We are seeing repeatedly that that is coming down. The joy of learning is coming down. So somehow we felt that students should experience that. They should not have fear of exams. They should not be concerned about getting placed in a company. That is there anyway. That should come as a consequence of their experiencing the joy in the learning process. That's another one. Then we also thought about students feeling responsible as members of the community to add value to the lives of people. See, I become an engineer today, but then I go into the society. What do? I am not learning engineering 4 years and getting equipped with so much of technical knowledge and then go and join a company, earn some salary and take care of myself. I have more of a responsibility to contribute something to the society. I'm not saying that, you don't get a salary or you don't get anything back, but that sense of wanting to contribute to the community. I am responsible as engineer to add value to life in the society. So we want to inculcate that. We wanted to inculcate to students a sense of proactiveness and self-learning. See, any problem that is there in front of us, nobody is going to tell us this is how you should solve it. This is where you will get the resources. These are all the ideas that you have to put together. Nothing will be spoon-fed. But one has to think over and over and know whom to collaborate with, what kind of resources have to be taken into, ask wherever help is needed. A certain sense of proactiveness is necessary, and wherever necessary, they have to learn on their own. So, proactiveness and self-learning aspect also we wanted to inculcate into students through this. Other important part was to give students an interest in the core courses. See, most of the times, core courses are looked down upon. Many times students feel that core courses are very hard.
It's like a burden.
Yes, if you see them, if I would put it this way, if you don't see the relevance of those courses, then it looks as a burden. It looks as too complicated. But then if you start seeing that, it is quite relevant, if you start seeing that it is quite relevant in our daily lives or in what I'm trying to solve, let's say I'm trying to develop something for addressing the needs of the people, then core courses come in handy. Without the knowledge of core courses, I'll not be able to build a solution for them. So that interest has to come in, and they have to see those courses as something useful, having a lot of utility. So these are few objectives that we wrote down for ourselves, and through design thinking course, we wanted to inculcate this into our students. So those are the main objectives that we thought of. I hope I added.
Yeah. So conventionally, when we design a course in the academic setup, when we design a new course, we have a syllabus, and above the syllabus, we have something called course outcomes.
Yeah.
And this is a completely different type of course, unconventional one, and it will not be executed by a single faculty. A group of faculty will be involved in it. So one, we wanted to be very clear with what is the vision, what is that we want to achieve through this course, and also it should be a common vision, it should be a shared vision among the faculty. So for that we have sat down and worked on this vision and developed this vision, the keywords in the vision as Dr. Karthik explained, to inculcate certain enthusiasm, create certain interest in core courses, develop this proactive quality in the students. But above all, the fundamental difference between the philosophy, the idea behind our design thinking course, and conventionally it is practiced in many universities, is our focus has been on how we can help or facilitate certain transformation in the students.
Exactly.
Because we often see that students are not taking interest in certain courses and faculty is disappointed that students are not taking interest. So this situation we have, but how do we address it? I'm not saying through this course we are addressing everything, but it is a step in that direction. So we have this conventional approach that first you teach a lot theory and many theoretical courses, and in the lab courses, or also again in the as a process of working on a project, then you get an idea where this entire mechanical engineering or electrical engineering are useful in building a product. Whereas we took a different approach, that a conventional approach of first theory then practice. Instead of that, what we have taken is that first practice even before you know the theory, and then you know the theory, and then you practice it better one more time.
Yeah.
So first year students come, we are asking them to build product, and we are guiding them in the process. This is how you do it. Step one, every step we are guiding through them. So without knowing the engineering knowledge itself, they will work on it, and through that process they will know, why do I have to know so much engineering, so many courses. So that is something was one of our points and vision behind this courses.
Are students really enjoying this course, or do they feel this as a burden?
Okay, I would say that 80-90% of the students would still enjoy this course. When you discuss with the students, they will share their experience. That's what I feel. But as far as we have seen, the participation has been quite encouraging.
Yeah.
They own the course.
Yeah.
See, there is a difference between when you say that something has a burden, that means they feel lost in energy, that why should I get involved? But here we have seen students owning up the course, coming forward, taking initiatives to execute their project and develop their product, coming forward to ask questions and take necessary support. So that kind of involvement we have seen to a great extent. So that is quite encouraging. See, one can say in any course, there will always be a group of students who may show some disinterest, but that's not what we are talking about. Overall outcome has been quite encouraging. That much we can say. More you can know from what students have experienced.
This question is because in general, in the conventional courses, students attend just because of the attendance.
Yes.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Just for the
happen.
sake of attendance.
That doesn't happen here. Is something
Same
which I can
case.
confidently say, because here our inputs are very minimum. Their participation is more. So they don't come to hear a lot from us. Rather, they come to involve in the activity. So that's what makes it different. So they are enthused about the activity that they are going to, about building a product.
Yeah, so far it's been 3 times we have run this course, from 21-22, 22-23 and 23-24. This is the 3rd year. The feedback has been very positive. Not only the official feedback we collect, but the feedback from the students, and also in terms of the output, the products built by the students, their experience has been quite positive.
Yes. So where do you see the course in the upcoming years?
See, as of now, 3 batches have, I wouldn't say 3, 2 batches have completed this course. They have gone to subsequent years because they take up this course right in the first year.
Yes.
Now the 3rd batch of students have, it is going on. Soon we will be having their also final demonstration of what products they have built. So as of now, looking at the response from the students and how students get involved in this, many of the students from other departments have started showing interest. They have felt fascinated about it, and also faculty members from other departments have also shown a lot of interest. So consequently, what has happened is the institute is going for another revision of curriculum now. In that, this has been introduced as a course for all the departments. Now it is running only for mechanical department. Now it will be made available for all the departments. Then each department will design the course based on their requirement.
So it's not interdisciplinary.
It can be. It can be.
Those modalities are now being
Yes,
worked out.
those
As
modalities
we
are worked
speak,
out. Yes.
the what will be the nature of this course, how it will be executed, all
Yes.
that is being worked out, because it will be rolled in the next academic year, 2024 academic year. So 3 years back we have introduced this course, the course we are talking about, this design thinking course in 2021 in mechanical engineering, as a 2-part course.
Yeah.
So the first semester we have a 3-credit course called design thinking,
Yeah.
and in which you have these steps in the design thinking.
They
starting from
conceptualize. Yeah.
completely a conceptualization or the complete details of the product are
Yes.
worked out in the first semester, whereas the focus in the second semester, that's a part 2 of the course, so that is called design studio. And in that course the focus is on fabrication, physically building the product. You actually build the product in the second semester. Yeah.
Not only that, slowly an offshoot of this can also be introducing other courses which will support this. If let's say students feel interested to build their products further and get involved with entrepreneurship and so on, we are thinking of introducing further things. So that is how we see the future of design. As of now, we have plans for it. Nothing is implemented, but slowly we see that is where it would.
So is this process leading to the giving the job opportunities? Like, is it leading to entrepreneurship?
It will. It is not giving job opportunity. It will make them provide jobs to others, right? It will make them entrepreneurs where they can open up companies and involve people and get them employed. So that is what we are.
Yeah,
looking.
one thing immediately, one development of the institute is, having done this from the last 3 years, now we are confident and we are introducing this course, in fact this couple of courses for all the department students. That means all the 1,000+ students that get admitted in NIT Warangal every year will go through these courses. That is the immediate development that is happening. And consequently, one facility called Design Thinking and Tinkering Lab, that also is currently being established. So in fact, one of the alumni who came to know about this initiative was generous enough and donated 1 crore rupees fund for this, and the lab is currently being established. And in future there are multiple prospects for this course. For example, the small set of students who will be interested in not only the innovation and product design, but they may be interested in the entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So for such students, there can be a minor specialization of 18 credits consisting of 6 courses in this direction, and that is not yet introduced, but there is a possibility of that. And further, the students who actually get interested in having their own startup, they can also get some fundamental training, some basic training that happens through this course.
What are the major learnings and unlearning in this 2-year journey process?
Yeah.
So
you want to,
yeah. See, first thing was that when we introduced this course, this was completely new for us also, because as a student we have not gone through this course. So how do we facilitate this? Some help we have got from IIT Delhi, particularly from Professor P.V.M. Rao, and also through a few books that we have read based on design thinking, product design and development. But for us it was quite new for us also, and it is not a lecture based course, as in I go and teach 3 lectures every week and you have paper based exams. It's not like that. So this course doesn't have regular lectures, it doesn't have books to read, it doesn't have written exams. So it's completely, you have few briefing sessions by the faculty of each activity. As I mentioned, design thinking process has these 5 steps. Empathy, that is empathize and find out the needs of the user. So once you understand the needs of the user, and then you formulate the problem, that is called a define step. So when the problem is formulated, then you come up with ideas to solve the problem. So that is ideate step, third step. And the fourth step is to, now that you have these ideas, based on this idea, a solution, you build the prototype, the solution, a product you are building. Since you are building for the first time and based on the idea, you call it a prototype. And then you test the prototype, whether is it meeting the user needs. So these 5 steps of design thinking are broken into 2-part course, design thinking and the design studio.
Yeah, the second semester.
Right. So first semester is the first 3 steps and second semester is the
last 2 steps. You can say, yeah.
So all this we have understood conceptually, but we have not delivered at all. This was first time. So about 2 to 3 months, the faculty involved in this course, apart from 2 few more faculty were there involved in this course. So all of us were, sat together every week, worked out on every bit of it, every single week what we will do, every
detailed
lecture,
aspects of the
very
execution.
Details we execute. Let us say empathy part is there. We want students to talk to users and find out what are the difficulties faced by them needs. But how do we do this? So each of the details we worked out. So that itself was quite a bit of learning. So the preparation needed for this was completely different. A lot of brainstorming sessions, discussions, consulting the experts, reading through the books. We made a complete detailed plan of every single week for the entire semester. And there were also questions because exactly similar experiments were not done other places. Like, see,
this is the first ever.
So students don't know engineering. How are you expecting them to, build the product? Will it be possible at all? We said, let us try. So
no, interestingly, this similar kind of courses have been introduced in other institutions, but at a later stage, somewhere in 3rd year or so.
Yeah.
But nobody tried it out in the 1st year. Yeah. That's why a lot of challenges.
Yeah. So we worked out activities, certain pattern we worked out. As I said, these 5 steps is, let us say, empathy part is there. So we tell them what is this. So that is one briefing session or one lecture by the faculty. So after that, we made students as a team of 5 people, and like 70 students are there in a class, about 14 teams we make. So these teams every week, they either sit together as a team and discuss on the activity of that week, that is whether it is empathy, formulation, this thing, and then choose a problem, and on that the problem is also identified them. We are not giving them the problem. We are only guiding them in terms of let's go to any of the focus groups. For example, you can go to farmers, you can go to hospital, or you can go to students, or you can go to housewife, so healthcare workers, like this. We are only saying this much. It is up to them. Go to them and identify the problem, and on that problem now you conduct the empathy exercise, formulation exercise, and all. So every week we design these activities. This was quite a bit of learning for us. And the few things for this one, now we understand after 3 years that yes, it is possible for the first year student to go through this process. We cannot underestimate that they have not gone through the engineering courses, because innovative ideas can come from anybody. Yes, so we came up with that hypothesis.
We also learnt that.
We learned that part. And another thing, as a teacher, what I felt is that in a conventional course, the teacher is teaching most of the time on the dais and students are listening. Whereas here, I am not teacher here, I am a facilitator.
Exactly.
Students are working on the project, I am facilitating, guiding, helping. Many of the times, I myself do not know the answers also.
Exactly.
We are fine with it.
We are
work together.
participating with
We are participating as a, yes, we are also working with them.
So we are facilitating the process.
So that part, we felt that this course is actually helping me to talk to my students, more.
In a very different level altogether.
Different context.
The involvement is very different.
And very free environment. They talk to us, and so this actually provided us to make more impact on the students and develop much stronger, teacher-student this relationship. And we, as I said from the beginning, we looked at this process as to be able to transform or work with the students.
Yes.
And the product they build is an outcome. Our focus is not actually building the product. Our product is actually the student. I mean, as an institute, as a teacher, our real product is the student. We are using a product as a means to work on the changes,
yes,
the transformation.
The real outcome, we can say, the real outcome is we see that the students develop into people who empathize with others in the community and make use of their engineering knowledge to actually serve the community. And those who are actually enthused about doing that. So their thought process and their attitude towards each other and the society was our main focus, and their own technical development knowledge, I mean, development knowledge of technical aspect. That was also a very core important focus we had. So we were using this product building as a means. That's why if you see, we were not worried about the quality of the product that they make. We were more interested in the process that they go through, what kind of clarity that they develop as they go through this process. See, finally, as a team may build a product and the product may not work properly. We are not even expecting that the product will function to its fullest. But then, as they go through building the product, the process we take it very seriously because the process helps them to transform into becoming the individual what we are envisioning them to be. Like I said earlier, the 4 or 5 vision statement, we wanted them to achieve their fullest potential in those aspects. So, as Dr. Hari Kumar was telling, the product building is a means for us.
Yeah.
Student is the real focus. And
in fact, though now this patent design parents, you can see them as an outcome. Originally, we never thought
plan
that
for it.
the course intends to, or students also didn't think that we are doing something for this.
Yes.
But as a consequence,
Exactly.
once they developed it, some of the students came up with really brilliant ideas, some new aspects is there in the product. Then it was a natural step that we apply for the patents and got them.
Yes.
So that was also learning that a first year student can do work on this and actually build the product, go through this process, develop a broader vision of the entire engineering product design and development process. It's getting a big picture of this process is very important. That is actually very difficult otherwise for a student in the beginning itself to get that this much goes into designing and developing a product. So that they got it and also got this extra thing of patents. Yeah.
Can we say that as no pressure is put on students, that is the reason they're coming?
Yes, you can
think
say
so.
that.
Yeah.
See, here there is no pressure because they are not focusing on themselves.
Yes.
They are enthusiastic because they are focusing on addressing the needs of the user that they are empathizing with. So they are not thinking about I have to get great, but they are thinking about I have to develop a product for addressing the user needs. Other things are just a consequence. So that is made very clear, and that's how the course is also taken forward. So we see that how much clarity they have in those things. So their entire focus is on addressing those needs. So they are able to, as you said, the lack of that stress helps them to deliver better and bring out their potential to the fullest.
No, in fact, I felt we can also observe it's not that students do not work hard.
Yes.
They work hard on the things they like.
Yes.
And they want to.
Yes.
See, definitely they spend a 15-hour day, 20-hour day also on the things they like. So we see that at least some of the teams, so once they, the empathy exercise is strong, they want to build this product, solve this problem. Once they felt it, I mean, the students have come and told us like they had, continuous 15 hours working, 20 hours working and completed the product, worked, quite hard and went beyond the beyond the bare minimum required things also. So that is, is very satisfying as a teacher to see that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Correct.
Moving on to the next question.
Yeah.
What do students undergo in the design thinking course?
You want to respond?
Okay. So in the design thinking, as we explained, there are these 5 steps of empathy, design, empathy, define, that is formulation of the problem, ideate and test, prototype and test. Okay. So basically students are taken through all these 5 steps in terms of activities, and then once they do activity they get clarity on that step, and this activity also is done on the chosen problem. So each team of students identify a problem, and for that problem each step is worked out. First, for this problem, let us say a student chooses to work with the healthcare workers. So he will have to go, the team has to go and talk to healthcare workers, let us say doctors or the nurses, and then he finds that doctors are now facing problem, let's say in measuring the blood pressure. Then they will identify that problem and they'll see what kinds of issues they are facing, and then they'll come back and work on the detailed need statements. So we'll coming back working on involves doing this activity, and after every module, that is this empathy is defined, whatever work they have done, that gets submitted in the form of a report. Then they give a presentation, and the faculty team listens to these presentations and give the feedback and go to the next step. So students go through all these steps. As they go through every step, the product will design and development, one step is completed. So as they complete all the 5 steps, the product is completely developed, the physical product is ready, it is tested. Yeah.
So this course is also called as product design and development in some of the universities. For example, Stanford University is running this course for several years now, and they have in their website resources available called PDD resources, product design and development resources. In fact, we have referred to their material also. And it's exactly the same, we go through the same 5 steps of empathize, define, ideate, prototype and test. But as we discussed in some of the previous responses, we said for them the objective is to develop a very good product.
Yes.
But for us, the objective is to make use of this process to transform the thought process in students, to change their entire outlook, their perspective, their attitude. That's what we are focusing on. So a lot of emphasis we give on empathizing with user needs. So they have to feel the pain of the user. Many people go through a lot of struggle. They go through some pain. So we are very carefully seeing that are the students able to capture that part. So then they are going to develop something to alleviate or address that pain. So a lot of support and time we try to dedicate to that aspect of this course. And once they get complete grip with the needs of the user, then the other steps become much more easy, because those are much more clearer.
Yeah.
How to define it in an engineering format and what are the solutions to be made. We have very clear cut steps for it. But very clearly empathizing with the user is something that takes time, and we want students to experience it fully. So that is something which we also spend more time on. This is what typically students go through. And then finally, in their second semester, they actually build the product, which is called prototyping, and then they test for whether whatever needs they have identified, is their product more or less, does it addresses all those needs of the user. This is what
Here you are looking for the process rather than the final product.
Yes.
And
Yes.
improvement in the process.
Not in the process, improvement in
The student understanding the process,
their clarity of the whole.
developing the clarity in the student. And in this course also, particularly the second part of the course, that is first year, second semester, that's quite challenging for the students,
Yes.
because the second part of the course is completely about fabrication, manufacturing, building the product. So that time, in fact, because ours is little unique in the sense we are doing it in the first year, they don't know many technical subjects, but still we are wanting them to do it. So they do one, wherever they don't know things, they will have to figure out on their own, or do it in an approximate fashion with the help of faculty and with the help of the technicians in the workshop we have. So there a lot of work is involved. They have to work with machines, on which as a part of other course called engineering workshop, they get training anyway how to use power tools, simple lathe machine, drilling machine, grinding machine, cutting, all these things they are also trained in as a part of other course. But now they use those skills in building this complete product, because doing a simple exercise of cutting a wood is different, but now cut it such a fashion that as a part of, it's a part of some component, a component of a product, then they have to do much more than that.
So it adds relevance to what they do. So now they are doing carpentry or metal cutting or other things for building a product, not just for the sake of learning just the trade or just the task. So that is another significant process.
So in that process, student literally feels that I wish I had known this little more. So that is one of our outcomes. We want them to appreciate why there is a need to know more about, let's say, kinematics, why they have to know more about dynamics, why they have to know more about materials. How do I now join two plastic materials? This is not known to them yet, but it is required as a product, as a part of the product building exercise. So this is what students go through.
So by doing the practical, they want to know more about the theory.
Yes. Yeah.
Moving on to the next question. What resources and facilities will be available to students in the design thinking and tinkering lab to support the project?
Yeah. So as we want to scale it up to the entire institute, that means independent of whether the student is in electrical, mechanical, ECE, computer science, these courses, design thinking course, will be offered to everybody that he joins NIT Warangal from 2024. That's the proposal that is currently under the development. Now we need a facility to support this course, a facility where student can come and build a product. So then if the product is of mechanical engineering in nature, certain facilities will be required. So all those basic facilities will be available. Similarly, the machinery, the basic machinery related to electrical engineering, basic equipment related to electronics, and for computer science, certain Arduino boards may be required, certain ICs, motors, some raw material like wood may be required, steel may be required. So all these things we want to make it available under one roof, and that lab we are calling it as a design thinking and tinkering lab, which we want to provide and free access to the students and facilitate these courses. And it is fun. Now we have good funding of 1 crore by one of our alumni for this lab.
So in fact, for ensuring that the facilities necessary for students from all domains are there, we have also roped in faculty from each of these departments who are advising us on what kind of facilities would be necessary. We have mechanical background, we have thought of few of the facilities, and we have taken inputs from faculty of other departments to ensure that the lab has almost all the facilities necessary for students to build the products. And more than just the curriculum component, further if students want to explore the possibility of taking their product forward, refine it, or work more on it, the facility will still be open for them. So that's what we are envisioning this facility to be.
Yeah.
So to build a product, we need students from all departments, right?
Yes.
So like circuits from the EC.
Yes.
Mechanical. So do all students from all departments work together, or individually they work?
See, as of now, considering the practical implementation of the course, we are doing it department specific, where student teams from each department, they just form teams within the department and they work on a product. But that's not what we are envisioning. That we are not saying that a product has to be built only domain specific manner and students from only that department has to get involved. But our vision was not the product, as I said before. Our vision was training the students. Now, as the students get trained, the facility is always open. If they want to collaborate interdisciplinary manner with students from other departments, they are free to build the product. So that time it is very that comes as a natural interest in each students. They can collaborate and come. But implementing this course at present as an interdisciplinary course, we have not thought about it and we have not evolved a system where it can be executed in an interdisciplinary manner. So that is the only part now. So that is why it is becoming a little department specific, to pool in the resources of the department and train the students accordingly. But for, as you said rightly, building a product is not domain specific, truly speaking. It definitely needs, and I would put it this way. Now, instead of depending on a student from electrical department or ECE, the student from mechanical is forced to learn a certain component of electronics engineering, what he has to implement in his own product. So that is one major objective that we have, where self-learning has to happen, right? The student, he may not be aware of a certain aspect of electronics, but he goes out, learns that, and then comes and implements it in his product. So that is multidisciplinary education itself. So that is also an important aspect. But later on, if they are going to build a very complicated product which requires extensive knowledge of electronics, very deeper knowledge, then they can always collaborate in a multidisciplinary fashion, work with people from different backgrounds. That's how we are looking.
Sir, as it has, it's been 3 years that you have started this course. Like, what impact has it been on students?
Quite a bit of impact. I think Dr. Hari Kumar is in a better position to share some of the things that students who have gone through it.
Yeah, in terms of, this is a core course. So all the students of the first year B.Tech Mechanical Engineering, they are going through this course. One thing is, all the teams so far are able to build successfully 100%. Everybody is able to build their product and get a feel for entire design thinking, product design and development process. That is we are very satisfied about that. So apart from that, as the students get more interested in this, actually building the product, and they further carry that interest and as they get into second year, third year also, some teams take more interest in working on the problems in their free time also. So one of the examples is like we had one practical problem called skin stapler. As the doctors perform certain surgery on the surgery, instead of stitching, these days they are stapling. They are using the stapler to uh, again seal the skin. So one of the doctors from AIMS, they've approached us to redesign, come up with a better design for the stapler. So one of the student teams who have gone through this design thinking process, they have come forward and they have actually redesigned this stapler. And one of the patents what we got is actually based on that, and they are further going to work on this. So this is something after the course is done, and we work with the students. So based on the products they developed in the first year, we got patents, and then after that also some students work on it and developed the new products also. So that way it is facilitating more student interest and interaction between faculty students, and some of them in future I feel even further can take up the further innovation related activities and finally get into even entrepreneurship also.
Yeah. They may get into startups and things
Yeah.
like that. We see that interest growing in students.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you
you
so
for your
much.
time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us here.